Howdy everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Going to show you the new exit parameters. These are just the first introduction to them. Each strategy I have here that's part of the bot is nuanced and that's a little more mature than the other ones, but the idea here is to get them to a state to consistently profit more. So in a previous video, I talked about activating each strategy. So we have the USDT 1 minute spot, an Ethereum spot momentum one, a Bitcoin future oscillator, future EMA momentum one, and just a general futures momentum. So in here, I've added a few more parameters. I've talked about these four in this one, but the different ones that are added are quite simply just this one, the APO, that's used as a similar exit check, but this one will be hopefully matured enough or added enough, or I'll add another set of parameters to it to make it more consistently profitable. But right now it's just crazy negative all the time. So you gotta be very careful with this one. Moving into this one, the Ethereum spot momentum, and you see a lot of the strategies, or all of them, are in the USDT tether market, which is tied back to the US dollar. This one's different. The only one that is not tether. This is the Ethereum spot momentum. This is a momentum based, obviously, for the spot market. This can be a defensive trade. So generally, you can set when you want the strategy to trade by setting the weighted average. On top of that, we have here, a lot of people have been wanting this take profit stop loss. So this is the return percent move up from the entry price. So if it's moving up 0.6% on the take profit, it'll get out of that position at 0.6 for the take profit. And the funny thing is, with the stop loss, you can set the stop loss to be 0.25% because you want to make money, so you can technically get out of the trade when there's the Binance exchange charges 0.1% on each trip. So buyers an entry, that's 0.1%, and then the sell on the exit is another 0.1%. So you're dealing with 0.2% for a commission fee. So I figure, and again, this is, you can change it. The stop loss, if it's less than 0.25% move up, get out of the trade. So that's what I'm doing here. This one's a little different. This is the Bitcoin futures oscillator. Right now, the only exit indicator I'm really using is this ratio, and that's the ratio between the bid and the ask price of Bitcoin. And if it's greater than a certain amount on the bid and ask ratio at 1, it just gets out of the trade. So once you get to a point where you have the same number of bids and asks at any point, it's just a sign of weakness. So you get out of the trade for that. So that's why I've set that ratio at 1. And it will keep trading until if it's still moving up, that's great. But once it shows its first sign of weakness on the bid ask, it'll get out, and that's when it's even. 50% of a snapshot of asks will equal the same as the bids, and asks are the same ratio. This one here, the futures EMA momentum. We have here a take profit again. Now again, remember, this is momentum based, so the take profit's a lot tighter because it's on minute data, so the moves will be a lot smaller on a minute data. So in this case, we're looking for take profit at 0.005 and a stop loss. Once it hits at 0, you could you get out of the trade at that point once the price drops below the entry or the break even. This one strategy, the futures momentum, is a little more evolved. Again, we have the standard take profit, stop loss, but I've also added in the elapsed time. So and I can add these to the other strategies as well. This is in minutes. So if you divide 180 by 3 hours, it comes out to, or sorry, 180 divided by 60, it comes out to 3 hours. So if the position's been on for more than 3 hours, in this case 180 minutes, the same, divided by 60, it'll just close out the trade no matter what. So I can add this elapsed time to all of the other strategies as well. I think that's something that people want or may want. But the idea here of these videos is to give people an opportunity to, drop hints on what they'd like to see here and any improvements. Up until this point, not many people have jumped in. That's fine. But once this goes live, it's going to be hard for me because all the basics here are covered in terms of the parameters for, as I said in my last video, and that's concerning risk management. And this one's concerned with exit conditions on each position and specific to each of these different position these parameters, exit parameters, conditions for each strategy that I have available. All right, so that's it so far. Hopefully that'll make sense to you, and we shall talk to you later. Thanks for watching.